Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm here at the Ark Encounter, and we are on deck 2 of the actual Ark. I am here with Matt, our zoo director. We have an area where we can bring up animals during the day for our visitors to see, and we wanted to introduce a very special animal here today. I will let you, Matt, introduce who do we have here.
All right, this is Trinity, and Trinity is a red kangaroo.
Keep talking in the mic.
She is a red kangaroo. She's a joey. She's actually 6.5 months old, and we are hand raising her with the zoo staff. So we've got 4 different zookeepers that work with her, rearing her. She gets a bottle 4 times a day, and then she also gets some greens and vegetables and some pellets as well. Same diet that the parents get that are in the exhibit down at the zoo.
Right. So how can guests come see our baby Joey?
So right now she's going to be sporadic since she's new, so we're unveiling her today. So this is going to be her first opportunity to be up here at the second deck and kind of meeting some of the guests. And so we have to kind of ease into it to see how well she handles all the interaction with the guests and such. So we're going to play it by ear. We'll probably start off with an hour or 2 at a time at different times of the day. And she'll pop up here on the second deck and meet people. And then, so we'll just kind of see how she does with it. And as long as she's doing well, we'll gradually extend the time frame. And then we'll just carry her up as zookeepers, and we carry her in our little makeshift marsupial pouch that we have here.
So is it important to have the baby Joey in the makeshift pouch, as you call it?
Yeah, exactly. So she's 6.5 months now. Typically in the wild, these guys will stay in mom's pouch for 5 to 8 months. Now, right now, if she were still with mother, she would be venturing in and out of the pouch at this point.
Right.
And I'm talking about for very short periods of time. And then as she gets older, she'll spend more and more time out of the pouch. So, and right now, since she's still getting acclimated to us, we're still keeping her in the pouch the majority of the time. And so she gets out after every bottle. She gets time out, and we actually have a pack and play. And we carry a pack and play just like you do for your toddlers.
Right.
And so right after she eats, she gets some time out in the pack and play. And that's usually when she goes to the bathroom. And with these big legs that the kangaroos have, they're like spring loaded, and they have a lot of energy tied up in there. You can see one hanging out right there. And so she gets out of the pouch and she does some stretching and some pretty good hopping. And so she has all the abilities that she would need as she gets older. And she can actually jump around and move around pretty good. She enjoys her time out. That way, too, she can do her business outside of the pouch, and it keeps her pouch nice and clean. Typically, with mom would have to clean that pouch out, or she would get the Joey out of the pouch to do those things as well, just like we do.
Right.
But typically, when the Joey's especially smaller and can't venture out, mom has to do all the cleaning of the pouch.
So if you're just joining us today, we're getting a very special treat. We're unveiling for the first time to the public here on deck 2 of the Ark, our baby Joey. Trinity is her name, and we're hand raising her. And she was born 6 months ago, is that what you said?
6.5 months, yep. And so when these guys are born, they're actually the size of a jelly bean. They're born, it's actually only a 35-day gestation, so when they're born, mom's only had her in development for 5 weeks. So when they're born, they're completely blind. They only have front limbs. Their hind legs aren't even developed yet. They don't have a tail. So mom will actually groom a line from her vulva all the way up to the pouch.
Uh-huh.
And so when the Joey's born, they instinctually follow that saliva line up into the pouch, where once they climb into the pouch, then they attach onto one of the 2 teats that the mother has in the pouch. And they just kind of latch on, and they hang out in that pouch for 5 to 7 months as they develop.
Wow. And if you have other questions about kangaroos, for example, sometimes we get questions about how did kangaroos get all the way from the Ark to Australia. And if you have a question like that or any other questions, you can go to answersingenesis.org, and we have many of those questions already answered for you today. So, and then, of course, we do have some of those questions answered here at the Ark too, if you want to make a visit.
Now, something I'll tell you too about the adults, but kangaroos in general, their lifespan's about 20 to 25 years. They can reproduce as early as about 14 months. And the mother can actually have Jelly Bean Joey in her pouch. She can also have a joey that's coming and going, and she can have one that's also hopping alongside, still nursing from the pouch.
Wow.
So these guys, actually in Australia, they're kind of like deer are here in America. They actually have hunting seasons and calls and things like that because these guys are very well designed and adapted to reproduce quickly.
Sure.
And in her case, by hand rearing her, she actually becomes a lot more calm and a lot more settled. So when we have them in the exhibit, they're a lot easier to work with. It's less stress on these guys. All the adults that are down at the Ark now, they're all hand-raised adults. And her mother is actually working on cycling through to another joey at this point. So.
And I can definitely vouch for over in Australia, when I would go to Australia, it's not too uncommon to see a kangaroo over there. It's pretty common, particularly when you kind of get more in the woods area and all that. You can see them. But it's important to stay clear of them because they can be good fighters, is what I hear.
Yes, they can. And our male, Solomon, he's actually, when he stands all the way upright, he's 6 foot tall, and he'll be upwards of 250 pounds when he's full grown. So these guys can get very, very large. The females are a lot smaller than the males, and they actually have more of a gray color. You can kind of see she has some of the red on between her ears there, but they still, even though they're red kangaroos, they have a lot of gray in them. It's mostly the males that get the real heavy red coloration. Also, another question we get a lot at the zoo is, do the males have pouches? And only the females rear the young for kangaroos, so the males have no pouch, they have no need for one. So only the females have the pouch.
Wow.
So right now we're also transitioning her from the milk bottle over to whole food. So she's getting some of the cooked sweet potato that I'm offering her now. She gets romaine lettuce, and she also gets the adult grain, which is a kangaroo diet, a zoo feed that we soak in water to make it a little easier for her to palate. So she's in the process right now of actually weaning over to a little bit to more solid food.
When do they get their teeth?
At birth, or pretty early on. Like, she has all her teeth now.
Wow.
And she'll actually groom the keepers, and she'll groom herself. If she finds things like the corner of the pouch, she likes to chew on those.
Yeah.
So they go through a teething kind of process, like
Sure.
like human babies do, and they want to chew on more stuff. So she does do that as well. Whoa, there you go.
And if you're just joining us, we are looking at our baby joey Trinity. For the first time, we're unveiling her to the public here on Deck 2 of the Ark. And if you're able to come, we encourage you to keep an eye out for Trinity. It's sporadic at this time because they're still hand-raising her, still kind of letting her grow, but you might be able to catch a glimpse of Trinity.
And that's one thing, too, is that a lot of people don't even realize that there is a zoo at the Ark. So the Ararat Ridge Zoo is located directly behind the ship. That's where Trinity's family is, and that's where all the zoo animals are kept down there. We're also working on a zoo expansion for 2018-2019, and that's where the kangaroos will be located once that expansion's done.
Sure.
But they have a current exhibit in the zoo right now as well.
Right. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, and we pinned a link to the ArkEncounter.com website directing you specifically to the zoo page where you can learn more about the zoo. And then if you go to our homepage, you can find out more about ticket information from there. And one of the main questions we get asked is it handicap accessible? And yes, everything is handicap accessible in the Ark, in the zoo. You'll be able to get there from there. So could we check out some of the other animals that we have here?
Yeah, we have some goats down here from the petting area. We have our 2 alpacas that Beth is feeding right now. And then we also have, let's see, I think we got our red tegu over here, red tegu lizard that Emily has. And Johnny and Cheryl back there are holding the goats right now, as is Cassidy with the microphone on. And then over here to your left, Michael has our bearded dragon.
So,
hey, Michael, turn around.
When do the animals come, like during the day? When can they expect to see them on Deck 2?
The animals are on Deck 2 from 10 to 5 every day.
Okay, 10 to 5.
Except for Sunday, sorry. Sunday it's noon to 5.
Okay.
And the zoo is open when the Ark is open. So the zoo is open from 9 to 9 until August 31st.
And then at the Ararat Ridge Zoo, if you go there behind the Ark, they also have a petting zoo. and you can go in there and pet the animals and all that as well. So, and a number of other animals, and once they expand, I'm sure you'll be getting some more.
Yes, we will. Yeah, there's a bunch of new animals in the collection lined up to come for the expansion.
Cool, makes it exciting. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be giving you updates from time to time. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and we'll either answer them here today or we'll reply after the fact. So there's a close-up of Trinity. She's 6.5 months old.
One of the cool things is people don't realize they have kind of a same kind of a hand like we do. So they have 5 toes on the paw. And then on the foot, they only have 3 toes. 1 large one and 2 smaller ones.
And of course, kangaroos have a special place here because the president and founder, Ken Ham, is from Australia, and we like to have a...
like to make it feel at home.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the emu as well, which he's kind of fond of also. They're from Australia.
Yeah. All right, so going to check here for any questions that you might have, and again, feel free to put questions. We'll answer them after the fact. We're going to close out here today, but thank you so much, Matt, for spending time with us.
Well, thank you for coming down. We're going to go ahead and take Trinity around, let her meet some of the guests now.
Right, so don't forget, you can come here on deck 2 and meet some of the animals, and also in the petting zoo and the Ararat Ridge Zoo. So we'll close out here today. Thank you.